Hey everybody, welcome to Easy Tarot Lessons. I'm Squirrel and I'm here with Mandy and Sally and
Hello.
the very mysterious Hanged Man. And he looks all up front, but he's one that trips a lot of people up. Trips him up, get it? No. Sorry. So, Sally, you want to tell us your take on the Sanged Man, the
The
Hanged
Sanged Man
Man? He
and his
sang.
brother, the Hanged Man. Yeah. Looking at this person, you know, for me, he's with all the majors. I can say this is, context is everything on these cards. Whatever I'm doing a reading on, they just take more life than what's just here. So out of context, some of the things that this hangman has done for me, it's like it comes up and just the way he is, it's like looking at something with a new perspective. And I think one time you and I were talking on something and I saw a snow globe.
Oh
I just saw
yeah.
everything shaken up and there he was in a snow globe. It's just sometimes he's away from things. He's separated. He's just trying to pull into himself and not be so much of the world. I've seen martyr with this card. I've seen just trying to get away from it all, like you're going to a spa or a retreat, or you're doing inversion exercises for your back or something like
Yeah.
just something having to do with gravity pulling you a different direction. There's all the standard things with them, and it's something about the hangman. I always forget what the standard things are after a while because I see so many other things in this card.
Mm.
How about you guys?
Well, I must admit, this was a card that I dreaded coming up when I, was first reading because I really couldn't make head nor tail of it. Sorry, that sounds. But yes, but I quite like him actually now. Now, I mean, there's all the usual stuff like my hands are tied and
Mm-hmm.
around and all that sort of thing. But I also see this card as very acrobatic, and I
Mm-hmm.
I like that about it. I just see f- physically very very fit, very agile, very yeah, just contortionist or whatever. I
Cirque du Soleil.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Ooh.
definitely. And if that is applicable to the reading, like if it's a description of someone, that sort of thing, I kind of yeah, I do. He's quite balletic. I mean, his toes are all pointed, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I've got a different deck where the Hanged Man is the card that I was drawn to the most because the character in it is so hot. It's like I thought,
I think I've seen that deck.
What deck?
yeah, but no, it might be because of that deck that I started to kind of like warm to this card. I don't know, but I feel yeah, same as you, Sally, like seeing things from a different perspective. Also like yes, just put things on hold
Mm-hmm.
for now. It's not kind of finish things. It's just put it on hold for now. The time will come when it's ready to start sort of moving with it again. That suspense thing,
Mm-hmm.
be patient, wait, that sort of thing. That I suppose that's quite traditional. And also there is the sacrifice thing as well. I know you said
Mm-hmm.
about martyr, but yeah, it does remind you that everything comes at a price. So
Mm-hmm.
I just think there's a lot of different angles. Excuse the pun again there, that you can go with this when this card comes up. It has to be in context because I
Mm-hmm.
just think it speaks on so many different levels, and obviously not all of them are going to apply at one
Right.
time. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot in it. So and in reverse, I mean, that's the other thing about this card. Your mind plays tricks because you sort of, even when you're used to it, you sort of think it's reversed, even when it's
Right.
up. upright, don't you? So
Yeah.
you have to just quickly always remind yourself that it is actually upright.
Mm-hmm.
But in reverse, I kind of feel, oh, things are going to start moving again, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It says to me more I think it has more possibilities in the upright position than it does in the reverse position. I don't know if you would agree with me on that.
I think I do. How about you, Sharon?
I think I do as well, because in the upright position, I mean, he doesn't, looking at the picture, I know that's supposed to be a form of ancient torture, but he does not look as if he's uncomfortable. He's like, okay, I
Mm-mm.
can hang around here all day.
Yeah.
It could be even I see yoga as a form of
Yeah,
ancient torture
Mm-hmm.
it's a good
sometimes.
old stretch, isn't it? It's a really good old stretch that he's having.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the traditional way I had meant it or learned it, wow, I'm awake. Um, and I was trapped in the tradition with him for a long time, much like the Hierophant. I saw him as sacrifice for the greater good. That's how I'd
Mm-hmm.
learned him, and
Yeah.
that
Sure.
just doesn't apply to every reading or every question.
No,
It
no,
just doesn't. So we look
no.
at him,
Mm-hmm.
and he's so far outside the box. He don't even know where the box is.
Right.
But
Yeah.
he's comfortable with it.
Yes.
He's like, okay, I'll just wait this out as long as I need to, and somebody's going to come along or something's going to come along and things will get better.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever notice just his legs? Like, as
Yes.
in, like, sore legs or something, like that redness, or,
I
you know,
see a four sometimes with that. I just,
yeah, yeah.
I want to know what control he has over gravity that his tunic isn't flipped up over his neck.
you know,
Oh,
and
oh,
that was one of the things I was going to say, thank
yeah.
heavens Pam drew him the way she did, because otherwise he would have been exposed. And sometimes that's what I get from this is, ooh, you're about to be exposed. In
Oh.
a, in a very physical, graphic way.
Uh, I mean, it could even mean like sort of like sunburn and watch your bits.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Make sure you
Absolutely.
cover up, right? Because you could get sunburn or something.
Hmm.
But
Just thinking of the silly things like a bad hair day.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I'm looking at that T crossbar, and if you look all the way to the right, it looks like there's a little animal creeping across the top. It kind of looks like an aardvark because it has a face and an eye and two ears. Just,
Oh, I
I can't
see
unsee that
it.
now.
Yeah. All the way to the right.
Yes. Oh my God.
Watch
Yeah,
out for aardvarks.
right. And some of the shadows, they're supposed to be leaves, but they look like birds to me. Like the one closest to the bent leg looks like a crow to me hanging out there, which could have,
Oh
war feelings or, death or, just stranger feelings, something having to do with the raven and the crow and whatnot.
I
So, yeah.
wonder, with
yeah.
that halo going on, I know Dusty said that in the original Marseille deck, that was a hat. And that
Hmm.
somehow over time the hat transgressed into a halo, or whatever the word is. Hello.
Yeah, and transformed in some way.
Transformed. Thank you.
There's a memory there too that it was just the hair, and then the hair became the halo, and
Yeah.
and
Oh.
and now we have halo and hair. I don't know.
And even though it may have started out as one thing, it's what we've got now, and it's how
Right,
that speaks to you now. Because
right.
tarot wasn't made to be read for divination, but it by golly works.
Yeah.
And it works because of the way the universe speaks to each of us. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I see that halo as this guy is sacrificing all his creature comforts to make sure that the people around him just get a better life.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are all those situations of, holy people, mystics who go through deprivations for enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And that's
Yeah,
kind of what he's doing.
yeah. Oh my God, there's just so many possibilities with this card.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
think you should ever turn this card over and think, oh my God, I haven't got a clue what it means. You've just got to kind of like look at what the reading is about, and where this card comes in the spread, and
Hmm.
and I just think it will tell you, it will have its say in a
Right.
loud voice. I just think it's got so many possibilities.
Right. The only
Hmm.
time he doesn't speak is if he doesn't make sense because you're just trapped in the tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that I've freed my mind, and the rest will follow.
And you see the card, but you see beyond the card. It's like the card opens up a floodgate, and that floodgate is what you're watching, not just, this flat piece of paper in front of you.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
How about reversed? Mandy started to go with the
Oh yeah, she
reversal.
did. I thought she was going to go there too.
Yeah. Well, all I said was I just feel things can start to get moving again now. The time of suspense is coming to an end. It's ready to kind of take some sort of action, get things going again. It's that
Hmm.
pick, but it's picking up on something that was already happening and that had sort of stationed for a while. Do you know what I mean? And now it's
Hmm.
time to kind of like, it's not like movement as in something new. I see it as reviving something that had stopped for a
Hmm.
while.
Right. Or he got his enlightenment and now he knows which way to frickin' go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I see it as you don't have perspective. You're not able to see it from all angles. You've got tunnel vision. And sometimes it's just like skipping out into the world. He's going to go party. I mean, you said it earlier, his toes are pointed. He's out there dancing.
Get that Irish jig going on.
Yeah, exactly.
On the other
Exactly.
hand, yeah, because it's reversed, it could just mean, make sure you're secure or you might just fall off.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
that.
I've not often, but I have seen it as being selfish, which I have to clarify. Okay, selfish is not always a bad thing. We give and we give and we give, and sometimes we got to take time for ourselves.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to meet our own needs to be able to meet the needs of others.
Hmm.
So I rescind the word or retract the word selfish. My words are just not cooperating with me today because selfish has negative connotations, but I think in this case, sometimes it's necessary to see to yourself first.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Would you say, like, astrologically, he's Pisces then?
I would probably put him there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would put him there. And in the white book, the easiest way to learn the tarot ever, Dusty does mention that he's traditionally seen as a water card and it
Right.
goes into the sailor's jig and everything, but with that
Hmm.
martyrdom that we can see and the
Yeah.
Mm.
sacrifice and it being water,
Sacrifice, martyrdom, retreat, all of that. Hmm.
and you really would have to be some kind of mutable to be hanging upside down like that.
Flexibility.
Even though in its upright position, this card, the point of it is it isn't moving, it isn't going anywhere.
Well, I don't know how deep we can go into this. Y'all tell me if I need to cut it out or not. But
Yeah,
Pisces is about enlightenment.
that's true. But I'm just
Yeah.
thinking the mutable side of it.
I think,
I think it's more of a spiritual mutability
yeah.
in that particular sense. You are going somewhere. Your physical body may be where it is, but your spirit is going elsewhere.
That's nice. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the movement is all going on spiritually rather than physically.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
certainly
Nice.
looks like that with
That
this
is
card.
nice.
Wow.
Whoa.
Deep. I
Hi,
love
man.
it.
He gave
Gosh.
us some of our own enlightenment. It was nice.
Mm.
Thank you.
Paul pointed out to me, he listened to one of our podcasts the other day, And he came home today and he was like, I swear it was like being in group. And for those of you that hear about group and hear about our community, it's we get together. We actually get together like this on Skype and we talk about what we see. The very beginning parts of group are
Hmm.
getting to understand this cards. This is like a little mini group.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So it's pretty amazing. And you know, we've all been around a while and just hearing us here, Mandy will say something or Sally will say something and we're all going, "Oh, wow, I never considered that." It's
Hmm.
continual. It never ends. You're always
Yeah.
learning and expanding and understanding deeper. It's a beautiful thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Now, to be really selfish, for the first time ever, I'm looking at this Hanged Man card. And if you look at his left arm and just the lines between there, today I saw the word Sally.
Well, you saw the word
Okay.
Sally
Okay.
Yes.
Wait,
with his
wait.
left arm.
His left arm, like his left arm, because
And
he's
looking at him,
facing
the one on
me,
the left.
the
The
one
one on the
on the
left.
left.
With the card upright, the arm on the left says Sally.
Correct. It does.
Okay.
I, and about the way I write it, messy too. There's the little S, the A, the L, L, and then the Y gets right into his clothing. And I'm like,
I see
oh,
it.
Oh my
I have
God.
never seen that before in my life. Talk about selfish. Dang.
It's
I, I,
time
I'm
to meditate.
I'm
Right?
for where it says Mandy now, but so far I'll let you know if I find
Find a Mandy. That this is my first Sally, so there you go.
I'm just going to pretend
it.
that aardvark's a squirrel.
I like that. I was thinking of that too, because up in the trees, I can't imagine an aardvark up in the trees, but yeah, you know the cartoon, The Ant and the Aardvark. That's what that reminds me of. Okay, showing my age.
Actually, we haven't really said too much about the tree,
Mm-mm.
except because I know there's sort of nature and trees in a lot of the cards, but I think the tree is more prominent probably in this card than any of the other cards if you think about it. And let's face it, trees are really important, aren't they?
Yes.
You know, for the
Yes.
planet and what have you. And a lot of trees are a lot older than any of us and all that sort of thing. And I'm just feeling somewhere down the line it may be that the tree itself is, you know, what needs to be said in the reading.
Right. And it looks like an artificial construction, except there are all these green leaves. So it's alive, yet
Yeah.
it looks fabricated at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Sorry, no, that wasn't on purpose, but it
I
was.
think the hangman is out on a limb. So you're just joining the hangman. I love it.
So, it's almost as if the tree were forced to grow in such a manner.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
hanged man himself is forced to be still, but he's growing in his own direction where the tree never had a chance to. And that's far reaching, but it's kind of like the two are one and he's just
Mm-hmm.
going that step farther to find that
Mm-hmm.
freedom.
Mm-hmm. And when you say that, the phrase tied to conformity jumped to my head, which is why groups are so awesome, guys, because you get new phrases that jump into your head
Tied to conformity.
just
Wow.
by talking about this card.
And isn't that a sacrifice all three of us and most
Mm-hmm.
tarot readers have made, is
Mm-hmm.
being tied to conformity because we're so afraid of how society will view us. And
Mm-hmm.
this is us finally coming to the realization that we don't have to be like everybody else.
Oh,
Right. Right.
yeah.
Hey, this
Okay.
is now our totem card.
I
Hey.
know, right?
Uh, yeah.
Holy
I know.
cow.
And I guess he's on a totem pole if you want to think about it that way. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, stop
it does feel
it.
like that, doesn't it?
Hmm.
See?
This could be the
I
tree of knowledge, though, because of his head,
yes.
you know, with. Mm,
See, then that aardvark is a squirrel for Ratatoskr, the Norse
Right?
little messenger that pisses off all the gods.
Mm-hmm. The Yggdrasil, yes. The world tree.
There's gonna be a squirrel in that tree, damn it. No.
You can have this as a squirrel. This is now a squirrel.
Mm.
Squirrel is on the tree, and I'm in the armpit.
You're in the armpit.
Oh, shoot.
Oh no.
Mandy, you want to be in this card anywhere?
Mandy's the ballerina.
Absolutely.
Oh yes, please, yeah. When I was a little girl, when they say, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" I always said I wanted to be an acrobat.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There you go.
There
Oh,
you go. Yeah.
and I love acrobat for this card because
Mhm.
he has to have
Mm-hmm.
some kind of ability.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He is so elegant, though, isn't he? As well, he's got the poise.
Yeah, he's not stressed out at all. Look at him. He's totally chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I could stay here for a week and a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one I would put my thumb over those words, the hanged man, because the hanged man, the words feel like he's doomed,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
yeah, no, no, I don't see him like that.
not at all.
No. And I kind of like feel as well. I'm not quite sure what I'm getting at, but one day it will come. But the fact that he's got the bright yellow hair and the bright yellow halo and the yellow feet, you,
Mm-hmm.
it is kind of like from the top to the toe. He's glowing in a way, isn't he?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
like that.
he'd be one. I'm gonna have to pull this card out tonight and really actually meditate with it and walk into it and talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of amazing, you guys. Have I've been struggling with him. He and the Hierophant are my true struggle cards, but today has just busted that wide open.
He was talking to you today. That's awesome.
Yes, he was. Y'all got anything else to add to him? Do we really want a 3-hour podcast?
Uh-huh.
Anything else jumping out
Yeah.
right now?
Not
Not right now.
immediately. Yeah, not immediately, but
All right. Well, we will
yeah,
wrap him up and let him hang around.
yeah.
It's like, oh God, okay, somebody's gonna shoot me for the
Yes.
puns.
Yes. We're just gonna leave him hanging. That's fine. It's fine.
I hope y'all have found some gems of interpretation in here, and take your time, look at him, and see what else you can see.
Oh
It's
yeah,
an exciting process. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
definitely so. Yep.
Wow. So thank you, ladies, and I will see
Thank
you
you.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.